Camera good in the back. All right, we'll start with an opening statement from Coach.
Guys, just unbelievably proud of our football team. I think really resilient efforts in all three phases. It definitely wasn't perfect. It wasn't pretty. Once again, our defense is unbelievable. Got them to do something that they normally don't do and turn the ball over is the biggest part of the game, obviously. I think we're +3. Really proud of our guys. A huge celebration there. I want to address something. I lost my emotions there a little bit on the ref when Chandler Morris went down, and I told Tony after the game I apologized, and I wanted to play those guys at full strength, and it wasn't a dirty play, and I just lost my emotions there, so I want to make sure I get that really clear. But really proud of our team. No one thought we could go to a bowl game, and our guys are in there. Once again, I get way too much credit. This is a players' game. These guys fought with resiliency. They kept punching, and we found a way to win. So I'll open up to any questions.
Went into the week saying you were going to learn about your team after what I'm watching the guys learn about them.
I get a different view than most people, right? Everyone gets to see them every Saturday. I get to see their resiliency and response every day of the week. And we've been challenged a lot this year. I think Les asked me that on Wednesday, like it's our first chance to respond. I was like, it's been a whole season of response. And I think we did that in a high fashion. Still a lot out there, still a lot we can grow and get better at. But, I think they said it's our first top 25 win at Wake Forest since 1979. And top 15, even better. So just really proud of our football team, proud of the resilience, proud of there's no finger pointing. There's just a team. The connection's incredible, and I think that's what you see on the field.
Is Carlos feeling that just to save it from being inside the 5 and then it winds up and the blocks open up?
You'll have to ask him because I'm not in the helmet. I'm glad he did that. I thought he was just going to go down. He did not do that. So what a big play in the football game. I mean, changed the whole trajectory of everything that we were doing. We knew we were going to have to go find a way to get one of those type of plays. Virginia has made those plays to win games all season. And this is the first time that we made one of those. And that's a good football team that had to do with their backup quarterback. They're a really good team. So just that's what makes us a really good football team. And we got to wash this and come back next week ready to compete.
You bring up the up and down, especially on special teams. What does it mean for you, his growth, that he responded to the adversity in the last few weeks to make a game breaker?
Yeah, I just felt this week I told him that he was going to go make a play. I told him that in pregame, and I don't know what way or what fashion it would be, but I think in this game you get tested every day, and some people forget what it's like to be in that spotlight. It's not easy, and you live out your goals, dreams, and aspirations every day in front of thousands and millions of people in these stadiums. Like, these are real people, right? They have to have real responses, and I'm really proud of Carlos and proud of a lot of our guys that just keep showing up and doing the hard, gritty things, even when it's not going their way. So just proud of him and proud of our team.
UVA came in, I think, 26th, like rushing defense, and while the yards aren't fully there, you guys had some funky stuff, 2 running back sets, a lot of counter, a lot of heavy stuff. Was it just something you guys saw on the week that you thought you could exploit there, or just kind of how you wanted that game to go?
Yeah, I thought we had to play kind of a dirty, nasty time possession game, and we're still waiting for one of those just to crease. We had a little bit of in Florida State, and then the penalties brought it back, and it's like we're close and we're right there. And you're not like discouraged about the continued running of the football, but it's just not to the explosive level. And the biggest difference the last 3 weeks, we haven't hit a downfield pass, and that it's made driving the football really hard. So we got to get back to that. We got to hit some of these shots.
Coach, go ahead and speak to, you alluded to it just again, the effort of the team defense, special teams, and just the offense. Even though the passing game wasn't as fluid as you liked, the offense was still able to grind it out.
Guys, that drive at the end of the game to take it from our 11-yard line all the way down there to kick a field goal. I mean, Robbie Ashford, the toughness that he showed, the playmaking that was there, like, that's not sexy. It doesn't, get you all these accolades, but that's how you win football games. And I've been looking to play this style of football for a while, and we need to be more explosive. We need to do better things, but I thought there was some gutty performances out there by a lot of different people on our football team. Okay, and like I said, they just kept swinging, right? They just kept swinging, and I'll say it again. This is what Built in the Dark is about, right? The belief that you have in each other to go out there and make the play required, one play at a time, no matter the situation or circumstance. Okay, and I didn't just make that up, right? You know what I mean? Like this is important to our guys. This is who we are, but it's a player's game, and they've just been unbelievable.
Because not only tempo helps your passing offense, but it looked like your tempo helped your run offense, keeping you off stunts and run blitzes. Was that part of your game plan?
Yeah, we talked about it this week. Like we need to mix it in more just to keep people off rhythm and off balance. So I thought Coach Ezell did a good job of mixing that in. And we need to continue to do that, like rhythm plays, explosive plays, but you got to get first downs. You got to get things that you can get into tempo. Otherwise, you're just tempoing to punt the ball quick, right? So I thought we did a good job of that, and we'll need to continue to mix that in and be more diverse that way.
Back from last week, but main goal still just coming this week talking about, hey, this is the game. Like just this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like I had the team too fired up last week. That was my fault. Like we just, and I thought we played a little bit like out of sorts. So just getting back to the basics. All we talked about was disciplined execution. Period. Doing your job for 60 minutes at the standard that that's required of all of us. And go out there and play fast and aggressive. And I thought it was a simple moment. There's not an opponent or a moment or play that's bigger than any else. And I think that's what we did a good job with today. And they believe we could come in and win this game now. Okay. They really believe we could come in and win the game. And that's what we ended up doing. And like I said, it wasn't pretty. It says 203 yards of offense, right? But I think we had 3 takeaways and we got them doing things that they weren't normally doing.
2 more guys from the players.
Defense gave up, I think, maybe 3 or 4 explosives, but none of them were backbreaking. How important was it to just get the ball?
Well, they weren't backbreaking because of great red zone defense. The short yardage quarterback deal, we just had an error there. Then we didn't keep it contained. And good job of the kid getting out the gate. Had some tackling issues at the third level here and there. Had some third down, still communication, execution things that those guys would like to have back. But our defense is one of the best in the country. Okay, and I'm not afraid to say that. Credit to this coaching staff. Credit to the players buying in. Credit to the belief that they have each and every day. But come watch practice. I mean, you got to see it. Like, these guys are working their tail off for this. This doesn't just happen. So the trust they have in each other, they showed it again today.
Before the fumble, Dylan Hayes still felt like he was having a basic game, and it kind of transcended there. Did you guys kind of think he was going to make a game breaking play at the end of that?
Well, he told me he got it out, right? And I believed him, and I told the refs about it, and then they buzzed down. So I credit him for that. No, he's just one of those guys. Like, the cool part is about our defense. Like, okay, who's the star? All of them, right? We rotate 8 guys into the defensive line, 4 guys in at linebacker, 3 corners. Like, that's a luxury to have, and that's what kept these guys fresh and healthy all season, right? So, we'll be back. Next week we got to play another really good football team, but really proud of our defense and our team and finding a way to win.
All right, guys, we're going to get Langston out there.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, guys, we've got Langston Hardy here. We'll open it up for questions.
Like, how much fun is it to play on the defensive line that it feels like every single week a different person's getting a fumble or getting a sack, getting something else happening?
Right. Yeah, I think it's the same thing how, Coach alluded to, like, we have 8 different guys who rotate, we're all fresh, even guys who are not playing, who are ready to go. I think the big thing is just through practice, like, we know that any one of us can make a play out there, and we don't play any selfish ball. It's just, we're going to go out there, do our job, and whoever it comes to is going to be ready to make that play. That's just how things go.
Talked about not playing selfish ball last week. Coach was saying that you guys got a little bit out of sorts, trying to do too much.
Yeah.
Was today just back to that doing your 1 of 11, saying, hey, look, I don't
Right.
know what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. I think the biggest thing, like we said it before practice, every day this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, those physical days, and just told our guys, like, we got to do our 1 out of 11. We do our job, and no one can mess with us, and we just got to make sure we stick to those, stick to the basics, like you said, and just focus on that and carry us out the rest of the season.
Where their number that they had fumbled 10 times and not lost any this year?
Oh, no, I wasn't. Yeah, we obviously that's the biggest thing. We want to get as many people to the ball as possible. So the one I just happened to be around the ball, got to it. Dylan, same thing, and then the other one, Dylan stripped himself and tapped the ball himself. So I mean, just like I said, just guys just making sure they're around the ball, getting the ball, and that's just that's our biggest thing. The ball. That's our biggest thing. So
You feel like they started pressing and doing some things out of character from what you can see on film?
I think the biggest thing that I think we were trying to focus on is just eliminating like their first down success. A lot of times, I've seen them and they hit the quick passes on first down, getting the second and manageables, and then third and shorts. They had a lot of third and shorts on the season, so our goal was to try and limit that, make sure we can get those, get our rush out there on third down, and try and limit those first down plays. And I think we were able to do that, so it was successful for us.
Need to, again, the ability of defense, especially in the second quarter, they're inside first and goal and up 45. Just speak about the team's ability to just be resilient, be focused, and building on the things you just mentioned.
Right. Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Nick Anderson. I think the biggest thing he does, just being a captain, a leader out there, is he brings us together before we get out there. Like even on the big run with the quarterback and he stepped out of bounds, he brought us together, had a conversation. We said we're gonna lock in, get out the field, hold him to 3. And that's exactly what we did. He does a great job of getting us all back on the same page. One thing could happen and get us off a little bit, but he centers us back together and just makes us ready to go out there and defend that goal line.
2 more for Langston, guys. With their comments. Are you guys good? All right, thanks, Langston.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Congrats. All right, we're gonna get Carlos up here. I got good believing.
Thank y'all for having me.
All right, we'll open it up for Carlos.
See you in the butt.
Space. Nah, credit to my guys on, doing the job blocking. Kind of just saw the ball bounce, had an opportunity, took it. My guy did the job block for me.
How much fill a ball like that are you thinking things are going to open up, and how much of it is just field it before it is down inside the 5?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of trust that I have within my guys to go out there and do the job. So anytime I get the opportunity to fit it, I'm thinking crib every time. So that's the mindset every time, yes, sir.
Did you see the beer flying at you from?
I wasn't too worried about that. I was just worried about that end zone. Yes, sir.
Well, to it, the ability, not only obviously that they play, but just in general, the effort of special teams to really keep the team and just speak to special teams ability.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the teams that, as the whole Wake Forest team, we kind of just, kind of lock into because that's the one team that's going to make a difference. Offense, we have our opportunities, defense has opportunities, but the special teams, the game difference, So when we go out there, which is kickoff, if it's kickoff return, punt, or punt defense, we all want to make a play. So I think we take that very serious. So when the opportunity comes, we're ready to make it.
That said, you told you were making a game-breaking play this week. I know you guys have ups and downs this year. How much does it mean to you to have a coach that, regardless of all that, still believes in you enough to tell you that when you're back out there?
No, he's a great coach, and I know I trust in him. He trusts me, and kind of to hear that in the beginning of the game, I was already feeling a good mood going pregame. So just to hear that, the confidence he has in me, just keeps me going, knowing that I can, be the player I am. So it's a great feeling, yes, sir.
Who had the blocks this Friday?
They did their job. Right after the play, I went up to every single one of them, gave them a dab on the sideline. So yeah, credit to them guys. They did their job today.
Turns is you trying to figure out where you're going and also just a blur at a certain point of I'm just going to go.
Yeah, we got the call. It was a right return. I just saw the space, took it, and most of the time it's a read, but I'm just trying to find space out there and get free. Yes, sir.
That's good for Carlos. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
We're gonna get Dylan up here.
How's it going?
All right, we'll open up for Dylan.
What word, the magic word you said to the Dickers to tell them, oh, I got the ball out.
I was basically like, I was trying to tell everyone I got the ball. That's why I was like raising the ball up in the air, like, hey, like, look at me, I have a ball. It didn't come in my hands by accident. I was really telling the ref, hey, you gotta review that. I'm glad they did. They almost didn't. They almost sniped me of that. So I'm glad they reviewed it.
The last couple of years, the defense has been a bit aligned, not the best, but this year, Dickers called one of the best. I think stats say it as well. How does it feel to play on a defense like that?
I mean, it feels amazing. As a defensive player, like you want the defense to be the strength. Like you want that to be able to lean, like they can trust the defense. Like when they go down that, for that last drive, like you can trust the defense they're gonna get it done what needs to be done. And it just feels amazing that we can, we have that ability to, send the pressures, have the cover guys. Defensive line's amazing, cover guys are amazing. Having just that full package it's surreal.
Do you know the number that they had fumbled 10 times and not lost a single one in it?
I did know their turnover margin was very, very good, and that's why they're 7-2. I mean, that's why they're a really good team. But obviously I think we got the better of them today.
Did you feel like you could kind of sense them starting to press a little bit as they couldn't get things going against the defense? And
A little
they
bit.
Start doing some uncharacteristic things.
A little bit. You kind of tell, like, you know, when they kind of get off like schedule and they start panicking a little bit, you kind of like the rhythm, like when you're out on the field, you can kind of feel like the rhythm of the offense. They're throwing everything they can at you, and obviously we're trying to stop it. So
Moments like this is pretty much why you and Quincy and Nick and some of the guys that have been here for a while came back and
most definitely.
didn't go into the portal.
Most definitely. I mean, we knew that we could be a special team, especially when Coach Hayes came in. You know, I love what Coach Hayes stands for. They brought in a bunch of, you know, talent, the back end. And I mean, I love everything about this defense.
Dylan, you've spoken to it all season about the defense's ability, everyone just doing their job. Speak to that tonight, especially as others have mentioned, you know, being able to force turnovers.
Yeah, no, I mean, when we're going out there, we're treating, you know, every snap like it has its own life. And we're trying to, you know, we're staying poised, we're staying consistent. We're not getting bored of like the little details. And so I think that's crucial, like for our defense to be successful, is that everyone's doing their job. I mean, it's who we are, it's what we do. Just having that, you know, kind of mindset of just don't get bored of the little details.
Coach said, hasn't really talked to me all about this being a game to get you guys to a bowl, but obviously now you guys have 6 wins. It's your first time since your redshirt freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to get back there, and is it somewhere where Wake Forest should be staying all the time?
100% Wake Forest should be here a long time. 100%. I mean, especially with Coach Dickert, and I mean him and his philosophy and, you know, his like movement. I think Coach Dickert is going to have a very talented team going forward, even after this year. And I mean, it feels amazing that we're finally back at bowling.
I'm going to see you smile to start.
Oh my gosh, y'all finally got me when we won. last 2 times y'all got me, we lost, and so I've been a little Debbie Downer. But finally we won a game where y'all got me.
Was there ever a moment on that last drive where you guys thought this might not just work out the way we need to, or is it always just it's going to work out?
I mean, it's always, you got to have that mindset. It's always going to work out. I mean, you got to trust each and every one. Each of like our brothers are out there, like we're family. And so you got to trust that they're going to do their job. So you got to do your job. I mean, again, it goes back to, you know, just everyone has their own part and you want to do your 1/11th of that part.
You guys good for Dylan? All right, thanks, Dylan.
I appreciate
I
y'all.
have Demond coming in. He'll be the last guy. He should be here anyway.
Right up there.
All right, everybody, we got Demond Claiborne, and we will take the question. You guys are good.
You guys were 1 for 11 on 3rd down, and then you had that 10-minute drive. What went right that wasn't working the rest of the game on that one?
Just miscommunication. I think, you know, as an offense, we got to continue to get better at communicating with each other and what we see and not shooting ourselves in the foot. You know, we do that a lot. And, you know, Coach Dickers brought that to our attention that we need to start eliminating those things. And so, I mean, we just got to continue to be real with each other, you know, observe and understand the things that we're good at and just do those things and, you know, not hurt ourselves and shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, so on that drive, when you had work converting,
Yeah.
did you do the things that you
100%. It's just execution, you know, just doing our job, just doing what, you know, we practice all week. You know, sometimes we can get in those environments and we can lose our minds and on those big stages, you know, and so just being composed and just being truthful and, you know, staying with each other is what matters the most. And so, you know, Coach Dickert, Coach Ezell, you know, even Coach Reed, they all do a good job. Coach Enos do a good job and, you know, coming up to us before every drive and telling us, you know, play by play, one step at a time, you know. And so, you know, just having great coaches like that makes it easier to go out and want to play. And so I'm definitely appreciative of those guys.
Virginia kid, you went on the road and went 2-0 against Virginia Tech. Virginia, is this one a little bit more sweeter given how last year's game went for you?
Yeah, 100%. You know, last year we lost on a nail biter kinda, and that one kind of hurt bad. And so, you know, being able to come back to Virginia, I'm only an hour and a half from the crib. You know, a lot of my family's here and was able to come out and watch me play. And so, you know, things like that, you know, mean a lot to me. You know, just my mom would come out and my brothers would come out and watch me do what I love. And so, yeah, I'm excited that we, you know, came to Virginia twice and we beat both Virginia teams. But right now I'm just trying to soak in the win and focus on next week.
Leader and veteran on this team, into a bowl game before you felt this team a bowl before, but how does it feel just to know that you're able to go back?
Yeah, no, it feels great. A lot of times the success of a team starts with those captains, and being captains, that's kind of the way we have to carry. And so, going home tonight, I can kind of reflect and look back at all the things I did right as a leader. Nick Anderson can also do that, Dave Kalani, and then the extra captain we add, every week can also go home and say, as leaders, we've got this team back to a bowl game. By just being our authentic selves, and I think that's what's most important to this team. Just our teammates seeing who we truly are, and then trusting in us to lead them through battle. Before every game, Coach Dickert reads off the card. These are the guys leading us into battle. And so, having your team behind you and supporting you and rocking with you, it means a lot. And we've won some pretty close games this season, and that's just a testament to those guys just wanting to be present for the team, but also for their captains.
Damon, and you've alluded to it, speak to the team's ability, despite everything maybe not being as fluid as intended, your ability to focus on doing your job and getting the desired outcomes on top of the win in your home state,
yeah,
etc.
Yeah, 100%. It's major. Coach Dickert, says this term built in the dark, and so being in the position we was in this game, we knew that we was going to face adversity, and we didn't know when we was going to face it, but we knew we was going to face it. And so just being able to come together, that's what I'm all about, is coming together with the guys on offense, even on defense, special teams. Everybody came together and picked up the slack of what the other person or the other group might have not been doing necessarily. And so, for that, I'm appreciative. It's a team game, and that's why we have a defense. That's why we have special teams, and so all that is major. Those guys stepped up in big ways today, and I'm very appreciative of everybody.
What was your view of Carlos's punt return?
I was right on the sideline. We needed that. I think, him taking a step in that area of his game has definitely been something that the team has needed, and he stepped up today, and so coach challenged him this week also, Los, we need you to, step up. And so us just as a group getting around him and showing him that he can do it and leveling him up. And, Coach Reed, coaches the returner. So even Coach Reed, giving him advice and giving him tips and giving him things to feel more confident out there, allow him to have the success he had today with that punt return. And it's awesome to see. A lot of times people throw shots, but they don't see those small conversations and those small interactions in the meeting rooms, and so we're human. We're also players too. We also make mistakes. We can't be perfect, even though the world wants us to. But I'm happy for Los. I'm happy that he was able to take that step. And, for the remainder of the season, we're going to continue to need him to make big plays on special teams for the team.
And coming back after the ups and downs, the team had a down last weekend.
Yeah.
What did it say about you guys to come back here, their road win a week later?
Resiliency. I think, last week we soaked in the environment a little too long. We never really, got in the rhythm. And so, this week, starting on Monday, we attacked everything. And, Coach Dickert wasn't playing, you know what I mean? Like, he came with it. And so, which I'm appreciative of, when the coach can even get on the best player, it was even times he was getting on me, it just shows the guys around that, like, hey, like, even the best player can get yelled at, even the best player needs to do it right. And, that just speaks to, who he is as a coach. And like ultimately his words and his vision and what he believed in helped us, because he presented us with a plan and a vision, and we had to execute it. And so you just hats off to him and, his staff and, my teammates. Like this was a great win, and we're going to soak it in, but we definitely got to get ready for next week.
Last one for Devon. We got to give him this last.
Devon, it looked like they were trying a lot of different things, 22 personnel, I think there was like 23 at one point. How does it feel that, even though things aren't going the way you guys want to on offense, it's not just, okay, we're going to keep bashing our head against the wall. We're gonna try to innovate, try to do different things. It looked like you almost got free about 4 or 5.
Yeah, 100%. That's the beauty of the game. Last week somebody asked me a similar question. How does it feel not scoring touchdowns? And I always tell them, like, sometimes I miss a cut that could have went for a touchdown. And so I understand this is how the game goes. And the best thing for me to do as a player is continue to do my job. If I can continue to get those dirty yards and we can continue to extend drives and extend plays and, even on the first play of the game when, you know, they fake tossed it to me and Robbie went for a big run, you know, just influencing the defense, impacting the defense. And so whatever I can do in those regards is, you know, what I'm here for. Like, I just want to, you know, we already got a bowl. This is the first time me going back to a bowl since my freshman year, you know, and so I'm excited for that. And like I said, we just got to continue to stay head first and, you know, focus on next week.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Bob.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you, man. Hey.